It is not someone else speaking on someone else's behalf. It is the people speaking directly. That's why it is said that community radio transforms communities into producers of media, as against letting them be mere consumers of media. As the late Zain Ibrahim of Bush Radio in South Africa once famously said, community radio is 90% about community and only 10% about radio. He further said, when setting up community radios, people generally start by thinking of a radio. Unfortunately, radio is only a technology. But if you start with radio, then the problem is that before long, there will be a huge gap between the radio and the community. And therefore, he said, get community first. As we gather here today to review community broadcasting in South Asia, we need to seriously consider if, by community radio development, are we referring to a technological advancement at the grassroots and development of local broadcasting units, or are we referring to the manifestation of people's voice in the airwaves? If we are talking about people's voices, then we need to talk about people's access and participation in community radios at all levels. Secondly, questions of equity, equal access, and restrictive legislation like a ban on broadcasting news remain concerns in many countries of South Asia. There are also challenges within the sector related to infrastructure, community involvement, participatory content development, and regulatory framework. Moreover, community radio stations are increasingly finding themselves vulnerable to the criticism of NGOization. Unfortunately, it has become common for large NGOs to run one or more community radio stations in different parts of a country. Sadly, lack of adequate policy, such malpractices are being promoted, and it is giving rise to a new kind of media hegemony. So, the next question is, how do we tackle these issues? In 2010, 6 years ago, the Asia Pacific Regional Chapter of AMARC held its second regional conference in Bangalore, India, where an assembly of nearly 300 members recommended a 10-point agenda for the development of community radio in the region. Ironically, these points are still valid today. Let me read them out to you. 1. To have a distinct and clear definition of community radio. 2. To recognize community radio as a distinct sector and acknowledge its contributions to societies and communities. 3. To legitimize community radio. 4. To open up airwaves and frequencies to community radios on an equitable basis, and at that time it was said that we needed at least 20 to 30% of the frequency for community broadcasting. To urge governments to provide financial and technical support to community radios, to support sustainability of community radios through initiatives like a community radio fund, to remove unreasonable restrictions in terms of technical power, and editorial practices such as ban on news, to simplify licensing procedures, to provide guidelines, mechanisms, and funding for reform, research, development, and capacity building. And finally, the 10th point, to ensure protection of community radio broadcasters. On the basis of these points, I would like to present a few recommendations. 1, there is a need for community radios to build synergies with social movements like freedom of expression, freedom of information, food security, gender issues, climate change, disaster management, and so on. Secondly, community broadcasting needs to strategically combine old and new communication technologies and develop mixed media models. We need to recognize that the way of listening to radio is changing rapidly. Online and digital platforms are rapidly gaining ground, and community broadcasting must adapt. Thirdly, there needs to be a sustained engagement between the different sectors of broadcasting, namely the commercial radios, the public broadcasters, and the community radios. Because commercial radios have the audience, public broadcasters have the reach, and community radios have the local content. There is a need to build linkages with academia and independent media development and research organizations. On one hand, there is need to be more research and impact assessment. There is a need for more impact and research and impact assessment studies that track and evaluate performance of community radios and study their correlation with factors that could influence their behavior, such as political and commercial interest. At the same time, there needs to be more support provided for training in community radio and develop a pool of country and regional resource persons that can undertake community radio capacity building. Number 5 is funding support from public funds also needs to be explored. Examples of such mechanisms are found in Australia, in France, and closer to home in Philippines, for example, where an initiative like the local government's units initiatives exist. Number 6, there's a need to put a greater emphasis on networking both at country and regional levels. Networks comprising community radio practitioners, advocates of community radio, community media production groups at the country and regional levels are required to advocate for enabling environments and judicious legislation at country levels. They also need valuable mechanisms for content sharing and dissemination, awareness raising, and capacity building. I think AMARC is a good case in point. It's not only a network of community radios. AMARC is a network of all stakeholders and comprises diverse members with expertise in advocacy, capacity building, technology facilitation, and content sharing. Finally, I would like to conclude by pointing out that community radios often describe themselves as a social movement. However, to become a social movement, community radios have to become part of other larger movements in the communities, such as the Dalit movement, the LGBTI movement for climate change adaptation or disaster risk reduction, or for movements for ensuring food security at local levels, and so on. Failing to do so will seriously limit the impact of community broadcasting in South Asia region and, for that matter, everywhere else. With some of the poorest populations of the world living in South Asia, where disease, hunger, violence, discrimination, corruption, lack of accountability, think of any malfunction that a community or a society can have and you'll find it here. Community radios have a humongous task cut out for them. Our success has to be measured against the impact we have against these social maladies. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. It's even like less than 15 minutes and very insightful and very provoking and very informative speech you have give here. So it's a like a big question for we community radio campaigners. What is the community radio? So is it a time to redefine the community radio, or it's a new definition of the community radio, or it's time to connect community radio with the community with a new perspective? Maybe later on we will discuss on it. So there are so many information, so many issues, so many opportunity and scope. So thank you, Mr. Suman. So now I would like to request Dr. Sebastian Burgess. He is the station director of Radio Matoli 90.4 FM India. So sir, you are also getting 15 minutes. So you want to use him?
Distinguished panelists on the dais, and also the office bearers of ACORAB and the organizers, and my dear fellow community radio companions, a very warm good morning to you all. I'm blessed to be here in Nepal the land of Gautama Buddha, who is an ever-inspiring icon of change and development. This is the first time that I visit here, my neighboring country, and I must, at the very outset, acclaim that I had a very warm and hospitable welcome extended to me, and I take this opportunity to congratulate the organizers of this first South Asian Community Radio Conference. And I thank you very much for inviting me to this conference and also including me in the distinguished, so very famous panelists. I am one among you. I am a station director of a community radio called Matuli. Matuli is, it can be translated as echoing or the vibrations of change. That's the little word meaning of Matuli, inspired by the community movement and also Mahatma Ji. Become the change, be the change you want to envisage. So we offer a change and development for our. This is basic information about our community radio. We have 17 hours of broadcast, 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. and address, and our parent organization is Wayanad Social Society, and we cover the district of Wayanad. This is our community radio volunteers, and that is our community radio station. The reason for existence of community radio is, we believe, that it's sustainable development of the community. And we have begun this community radio in the context of drought, crop failure, and price fall in Wayanad. Wayanad is a district 2,200 square kilometers wide, and almost 8 crore people are there, 8 lakh people. So 17% of the people are belonging to tribal communities. And because of the agrarian crisis, as you can notice, 1,670 farmers committed suicide. So climate change aftermath in the form of seasonal fluctuations and natural disasters added worry to the people. And Wayanad is declared as the backward district by the Ministry of Panchayat Raj. We realize it is not the inadequacy of the development packages, but gap in the development communication and creating blockades for development in our district, Wayanad. So, a development communication tool to revive the economy and life of Wayanad. We envisage a self-reliant, interactive, and harmonious community abounding in self-respect that seeks its own sustainable development, fully harnessing locally available resources. Radio Matuli is launched to empower and inspire the poor farmers through dissemination of free knowledge and new farming techniques, to promote and preserve the cultural heritage and diversity of our district, women and child empowerment, fostering humanitarian values, peace and harmony in society, encourage entrepreneurship, promoting tribal welfare. Our target group of Matuli, our radio, is first of all farmers, agricultural laborers, women and children, youth and children, tribal population, and also marginalized people. We, as we all do, produce and broadcast programs of immediate relevance to the community of Wayanad. Our emphasis on developmental, agricultural, health, educational, environmental, social welfare, community development, and cultural promotion. Special interests and needs of the local community, focus issues related to education, health, culture, environment. And this is a sample of the broadcast that we are doing almost every day. Thoughts for the day, historical importance of the day, newspapers at a glance, career-oriented programs, public service announcements, mental health and personality development programs, theatre and drama. 60% of our content is addressed to agriculture and agro-related topics. We have different programs. A component is a daily broadcast of local market rates in different towns. And we have this Puraskaram award to promote the best farmers of the districts. And new schemes for farmers, subsidies, industrial land facilities are also communicated to them. And we are bridging the gap between the government sector and the people. Young farmers and students come on their own initiative to produce programs that are viable for their existence and co-living. Vailnadu is a program to disseminate knowledge and attitude and skills related to crop varieties. Nyatuvela is also the current issues and concerns of agro sector, weather forecast. Chayakada is tea shop. It means tea shop. It's a critical and humorous drama enactment and analysis of a very recent local and particular issue every day to caution and guide the common folk. Dairy farming, second largest source of income for our community is dairy. And we are producing a program called Shiravani. District Dairy Department is our partner in this venture. We tie up with them, and we make program for them, and we invite them, and we provide them a platform, and also we get feedback from the people, and we go out into the field and get fresh needs and requirements and anxieties and concerns of the dairy farmers and directly connect it to government and the district dairy department. Inland aquaculture, fish farming. Tribal programs. There are 986 tribal hamlets in our district. And Matuli is the only electronic media in Kerala, our state, to broadcast in tribal dialect daily. All the tribal programs are produced by tribal volunteers themselves. Promoting the self-esteem of tribes and preservation of tribal dialects and culture are the main objectives of these programs. Introducing skills for tribes, we are connecting the government departments and other societies to tribal communities. Participation of tribes in civil governance and democratic process through awareness programs. There is also a participatory policy in our content monitoring committee, in our CRS managing committee, in our advisory council. Tribals are there, and some of our tribal volunteers are elected as Gram Panchayat, local self-government presidents, and also district Panchayat president. They are closely associated with us. They own the radio. These are the tribal programs. You can see the tribal volunteers. Other most important ventures of sustainable development are financial literacy programs to promote entrepreneurship and different programs for self-help groups and Kudumbasri. Kudumbasri is the women empowerment program of the state of Kerala in India. And there are small self-help groups. We go to each and every self-help groups and really broadcast their programs, their success stories, and also their dreams and also concerns. And for this financial literacy program, we are cooperating with NABARD, the Rural Development Bank, and currently there is a program going on, financial literacy program. Every week, 20 minutes, the whole year, a financial literacy campaign is broadcast. There are health programs. There are programs in which to empower women and promote family values. This is done entirely by women volunteers. Chettuvattam is the live update and flash news 11 for community. We have no license, or we have no by law we cannot be the news reporters, but we really inform people what all things are happening around the district and also at our state. There are certain programs we address public interest issues and mediate between officials and the public. These are the volunteers engaged in the production. And the new venture we have initiated as a movement is Swachh Matuli. It's a recently launched model of participatory community campaign to motivate people for attitudinal and behavioral change regarding waste management, hygiene, and sanitation. we have taken this movement. We have invited all the peoples from all different walks of life, all movements, all political parties, business people, institutions, educational others, and we formed a committee first. Then we have proposed a one-year-long program, and they take the initiative to run this movement. And we are pioneers and really inspiring and motivating them. This is our support. This is the supporting agencies that sustains our radio and our programs. We have this much of agencies. We are currently day-to-day based, yearly based, cooperating, collaborating, especially for our financial sustainability. And this is our success stories, the National Community Radio Sustainability Award, Manthan Award. And we are very happy to inform you, my fellow community radio companions, recently a textbook on media has included one chapter about Radio Matili as a sustainable model of media development and community coexistence. One full chapter for pre-degree students, that is 12th standard students. Thank you very much. And I expect corrections and suggestions, and also I'm very happy to learn from you. I'm here to learn more about community radio. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. It's a very enlightened experience and very worthy experience. It shows that you have done lots of things to translate the community, and this is very worthwhile for us. So thank you very much for this beautiful presentation. There are so many queries are there about you have focused on the sustainable development of the community, and we are very much interested to know how we can connect the community radio with the upcoming sustainable development goal, how that can be a part of the that we, from the Nepalese perspective, we want to learn that from you. Maybe more queries will come on the next round. So, wonderful things you are connecting the community with the radio. So, what Suman raised the questions, how we can connect to the community with the radios, and you also highlighted on that. So, this is very good, worthwhile practice you are doing, and we can learn it from your experience. So now I would like to request to Mr. Bazrul Rahman, the CEO of BNNRC. He has been affiliated in community radio for a long, and he is a very experienced person. So I would like to welcome Bazrul. You have presented.
Very good morning or afternoon. My friends, moderator, Barrister RC, distinguished panel, especially respected Honorable Joint Secretary from Government of Nepal. Thank you very much for joining with us. We are so grateful to you. And I would like to say something regarding Honorable distinguished panel, Mr. Suman Basnet. Suman Basnet is our great mentor, especially community radio growth in Bangladesh. And by and large, I must say, we learned so many things from the Nepali community radio movement and the Nepali community radio from the grassroots. And another one distinguished panel, Mr. Mohan. Mr. Mohan, basically, he is the community media people, and I learned so many things. And very recent, I learned community television from the Lumbini. And my father already mentioned, Nepal is not a community radio movement leading country of the South Asia. It's a birthplace of our great Buddha, Gautam Buddha. Okay. Basically, very brief, I would like to share with you regarding the political broadcasting scenario in Bangladesh. We have public service broadcasting called government controlled broadcasting, not a public service broadcasting. So this is a government broadcasting. We have a 12 medium wave station and 35 FM radio station all over the country. And the second tier private broadcasting, we have 28 FM radio station all over the country, and now 16 private broadcasting on air basically. And third tier broadcasting is now I would like to share with you regarding community broadcasting. So now there are the government issues 32 license, and now 17 community radio basically on air in Bangladesh. Just very quick, I would like to inform you regarding our policy. We have a policy after a long fight with the Bangladesh government, and a policy came out called Community Radio Policy 2008 basically in Bangladesh. And after the policy, Ministry of Information declared another one strategy called Community Radio Strategy Paper. That one come from year of the 2012. And Bangladesh Telecom Regulatory Commission developed another one plan called National Frequency Allocation Plan. So for the National Frequency Allocation Plan, basically Bangladeshi Community Radio running the AROFs. Okay, Bangladeshi Community Radio basically centered building a knowledge society at the grassroots level. Bangladeshi Community Radio create knowledge at the grassroots level, and preserve knowledge at the grassroots level, as well as knowledge disseminate through community radio. And last one is very important, utilization of the knowledge of the grassroots people. That's one relate to our Shumon Basnet speeches. And we are very much harmonized with World Summit on the Information Society and the Sustainable Development Goal, especially Goal 16. This is our beauty goal, and also Bangladesh governmental 7th 5-year plan. Okay, this is our Bangladeshi one kind of community media model. Through the community radio, we would like to achieve basically in Bangladesh. This is our struggle to achieve community building, empowerment, and as well as participation. And also our distinguished panel Shumon Basnet already mentioned voices to the voiceless as well as access to information is a very important part basically Bangladeshi community radio are doing at the grassroots level. We have another one model called Sustainable Livelihood Framework. Through community radio, we would like to contribute increase well-being of the community people, reduce vulnerability. You know, Bangladesh is one of the very vulnerable country. In line with, we have a 710-kilometer coastline nearby the Bay of Bengal. So, lot of flood, tornado, cyclone basically come from the Bay of Bengal. So, community radio basically playing a very good role in line with to save human capital, natural capital, financial capital, as well as social capital and physical capital in rural Bangladesh. This is the geographical distribution. The morning time, our minister already expressed more radio is coming. Facts and figure, I will not go there, but only I will mention one thing regarding the all total 17 community radio basically broadcast daily 135-hour program. This program in line with education, information, development, motivation, like this. This is the one kind of format. This is the participatory format. So how Bangladeshi community radio basically develop program and broadcast the program in line with process, content, and also very important part of the content side. Okay, and I would like to go school of thought. How community radio, Bangladeshi community radio relate to school of thought in line with information, formation, and last one is transformation. First one is formation. Formation, that means it is a school of thought called cognitive. like news, information, data, hard facts, events, educational inputs like this. This is the piri of the community radio. And during call formation, this is the studio-based work, analysis, and provide lot of input there. And last one is transformation. This is completely behavioral change in line with utilization of the knowledge of the grassroots level. Okay, Bangladeshi community radio following a lot of model. You are already familiar this model. I would not say more in this regard due to time constraint. Okay, we are trying to see the effectiveness of the community radio in Bangladesh with a 4 lens. One is effectiveness, another one is sustainability, another one is innovation, and last one is the funding situation. Funding situation, there are 2 types, community participation and as well as external participation. Okay. Now I would like to just emphasize some disaster, use of the disaster map. So our coastal community radio basically playing a very good role to reduce the disaster. We call disaster risk reduction. This one, another one disaster, and community radio played a very good role, that one. Okay. Our community radio stations basically attract a lot of international award also, UNICEF, MENA award, National Population Award, Government of Bangladesh, and as well as Girls Power Award. And in the morning time, Minister has also already informed you, Bangladeshi Community Radio got this year World Summit on the Information Society Award. And another one radio station got Asia Pacific Broadcasting Union in line with Drama Award, basically for the drama content. We face a lot of challenges also. This is the part of in line with our Suman Basnet presentation. Need-based content. It's a very, very struggling area in line with community people. Second one is practical behavioral objective, so like social mobilization. Social mobilization within the community radio broadcasting area. Maybe community radio station to 5 to 10 kilometer, social mobilization is good, but after 10 kilometer, up to last mile, there is a lack of mobilization mechanism, lack of mobilization capacity from the community radio. And economic, here I call significance. Say one community radio program may be skills development or Tibet, but community radio we have some limitation, so we do not provide whole solution of the say like Tibet or skills development like this, in line with credit, in line with further knowledge, in line with further development like this. So backward link and forward link, there are some limitation we are facing. Resource availability and sustainability is also one of the part, and further already brief, very good. I think we can learn from further presentation. This is a very good forum, I think, knowledge sharing. So that Bangladeshi Community Radio now there are 22 member of delegation in here. I think further you can contribute to us in line with sustainability matter, how we can follow your model. Research and experience based program is very limited, and I think we can start collaboration through the AMARC regional basis, but because we have a very limited research. So now I think now time to act, to start some research in collaboration with academia, in collaboration with AMARC. I think we would be very happy if AMARC initiate this type of research initiative. It is, I think, now time to act for Nepal also, Bangladesh also, and as well as India also. And other one is holistic integration of the subject matter. We have some lack of skills, lack of competency to integration the holistic matter. And last one is clear message, concrete example. This is a very need area when I develop any program for the community radio, I need to clear message, develop a clear message with a clear message, and provide to concrete example for the community people. And community mobilization is another area we face a lot of things because the community radio there is in Bangladeshi community radio we have no, in fact by and large, no vehicle also. Vehicle in line with motorcycle, vehicle in line with other wheeler, so that within 10 kilometer by rickshaw mobilization is very good, but after the 10 kilometer mobilization there is we face some limitation. Last one is audience research and development. This is another one struggle for us. Audience research. So I think this is another one proposal for the AMARC and as well as ACORAB also. Please start some transnational in India, Nepal, Bangladesh. We can start a audience research project so that we can learn so many things from the community. Okay, way forward. In Bangladesh, basically, I would like to mention some 2 or 3 things. Our policy now, morning time, you heard from our minister. Now, ministry is on the way to revise the policy, and ministry would like to put the Bangladeshi community radio can receive 10% advertisement from the community, any type of advertisement in line with national broadcasting policy. So I think policy will, Ministry of Information will declare very soon. Second one is community development fund already covered, and under the process we are trying to attract the different ministries also, so that ministry can provide some development advertisement to the community radio. Another one is struggle called UN and NGOs, INGOs. They are supporting us. We so much grateful to the INGO, of course, and as well as UN bodies. But project period is 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, hardly 12 months. So within 3 months, within 9 months, within 12 months, how we will achieve something using the community radio in our community? But I think this is another one proposal. Again, go to the AMARC and ACORAB level, how we can attract to the donor agency, so that donor agency can include community media agenda in their strategy paper. Because every donor agency declare 5 years strategy, 6 years strategy. So this is our, I think, advocacy agenda. We can start very strongly from our side for the donor agencies. And last one is regional knowledge sharing. AMARC doing a lot to sharing the knowledge about a community radio. This forum also, this is a great initiative to sharing our regional knowledge, especially India, Bangladesh and Nepal. So it is very important regarding knowledge sharing initiative. Thank you very much. In conclusion, I would like to say, think globally, act all level or broadcast all level, but very, very carefully, because voices to be heard. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Badrul. So it's a very enlightening and very informative presentation you have done here. So now we came to know that Bangladesh has lots of media policy related to like community radio policy, and the government is providing support. So Nepal is under process to get so many policies, and just we had the media policy, and it's on the way. We can assume that the community radio policy is on the way. So hopefully